What's really going on with the Iraqi dinar? For years, it's been one of the most talked about currencies, with investors everywhere buzzing about a potential revaluation. As we move through 2025, the big question on everyone's mind is the Central Bank of Iraq, or CBI, finally going to revalue the dinar? Let's cut through the noise, look at what the CBI has actually said, and uncover what this all means for Iraq's financial future. First, let's get on the same page about what a revaluation actually is. In simple terms, it's when a country officially boosts the value of its currency against others. For Iraq, a revaluation would mean one Iraqi dinar could buy more US dollars. This would instantly increase the purchasing power of its citizens and make imports cheaper. But a move like this is a massive economic event. It can't just happen overnight. It requires a stable economy, strong foreign reserves, political harmony, and the trust of the international community. The CBI's job is to juggle all these factors while keeping a lid on inflation. It's a delicate balancing act, and they're playing the long game. So, what is the CBI's game plan for 2025? Well, they've laid out a pretty clear economic vision. Their top priorities are stabilizing the exchange rate to prevent wild swings in the market, cracking down on dollar smuggling, and the black market, making the entire banking system more transparent and building up their foreign currency reserves through oil sales and new trade deals. Notice what's at the top of that list: stability. The CBI is focused on building a solid monetary foundation, not on creating a lottery ticket for short-term speculators. While many hope for a dramatic overnight revaluation, the bank is playing it cool, aiming for gradual appreciation through real, tangible reforms. And there are some very promising signs that Iraq is heading in the right direction, which could naturally strengthen the dinar over time, even without an official revaluation announcement. Let's look at the key indicators. First up, rising foreign reserves. As of late 2024, Iraq's foreign reserves shot past the $100 billion mark. This gives the country one of the strongest financial cushions in the entire region. This massive pile of cash allows the CBI to support the dinar and defend it against any unexpected economic shocks. It's like having a financial superpower in your back pocket. Next, we have to talk about oil. Iraq's economy runs on it. Oil production and exports account for nearly 90% of the government's income. With global oil prices staying high through 2024 and into 2025, Iraq's finances have gotten a major boost. This influx of cash has improved liquidity across the board and gives the government more firepower to stabilize its currency. It's the engine driving the country's economic recovery. Another huge factor is the CBI's crackdown on US dollar transactions. They've seriously tightened the rules, forcing banks to comply with strict new anti-money laundering and international sanctions policies. This isn't just about ticking boxes for global regulators. This move has successfully reduced the amount of dollars illegally flowing out of the country, which in turn has strengthened the dinar's demand right here at home. When there are fewer dollars floating around on the black market, the official currency becomes more valuable. And finally, Iraq is getting a much-needed upgrade to its banking system. With help from international partners, the country is rapidly modernizing its financial sector. We're talking about integrating digital payments, improving compliance across the board, and making transactions far more transparent. All of this builds confidence, not just for regular Iraqis, but for international investors. A modern, transparent banking system is the bedrock of a strong and stable currency. So, with all this positive momentum, what has the Central Bank of Iraq actually said about a revaluation? Well, despite all the speculation and rumors you might see online, the CBI has not officially announced any plans for a massive revaluation. Instead, their public statements consistently hammer home one key theme: exchange rate stability. Time and time again, CBI officials have made it clear that any changes to the exchange rate will be driven by solid economic data, not by rumors or external pressure. Their goal is to find a fair value for the dinar that reflects the country's actual economic strength, not a value pumped up by speculation. However, That's worth noting that the language they've used in 2024 and 2025 has softened just a little. There are hints of an openness to gradual adjustments, but only if their economic reforms continue to bear fruit. We also can't forget the role of international oversight. Iraq's currency system doesn't operate in a vacuum. It's closely watched by major financial institutions like the International Monetary Fund and the U.S. Treasury. These organizations work hand in hand with Iraq to ensure compliance with anti-corruption and financial transparency standards. The U.S., in particular, keeps a close eye on how Iraq manages its oil revenues and foreign transfers to prevent any misuse or violations of sanctions. Now, while this oversight might limit Iraq's freedom to make a sudden, dramatic change to its currency, it also adds a crucial layer of credibility and protection to the dinar on the world stage. It's a sign that Iraq is a serious player in the global financial system. So the $1 million or perhaps the 100 billion dinar question is, could a revaluation actually happen in 2025? While a massive overnight revaluation remains unlikely, many analysts believe Iraq might be moving toward what's called a managed appreciation model. This means they would allow the dinar to get stronger, but slowly and predictably, as the economy improves. Some experts even think the CBI might eventually adjust its dual-rate system, closing the gap between the official exchange rate and the parallel market rate. A move like that could be seen as a sort of mini revaluation, boosting investor confidence without causing a major shock to the system. If Iraq continues to succeed with its reforms, especially in banking transparency, oil exports, and attracting foreign investment, the dinar could very well appreciate naturally, driven by real market demand rather than an artificial government decree. Looking ahead, we have to consider Iraq's future in global trade. As Iraq strengthens its trade relationships with major players like China, Turkey, the Gulf states, and Europe, the need for a stronger, more stable currency becomes even more critical. International investors and trading partners want predictability. They need a stable exchange rate to feel confident signing long-term contracts and pouring investment into the country. It seems the CBI's long-term goal is to fully integrate Iraq into regional and global financial systems. To do that, a more valuable and stable dinar isn't just a nice-to-have. It's a necessity. This doesn't mean we'll see a huge one-time RV, but rather a steady, calculated climb toward parity with the currencies of its neighbors over time. So, what should investors be thinking about for 2025 and beyond? The key word is realism. While the idea of a sudden revaluation is exciting, the more probable scenario is slow and sustainable appreciation. The future path of the dinar will really depend on a few key things: the continued success of Iraq's oil sector stability within the government and its financial policies, the ongoing growth of those massive foreign reserves, and the strengthening of its ties with global markets. If Iraq can keep these positive trends going, the long-term outlook for the dinar remains very promising, even without a dramatic overnight change. To wrap it all up, what's really happening with the CBI's dinar plans for 2025? The truth is, Iraq isn't preparing for an immediate, massive revaluation in the way many speculators hope. But, and this is the important part, it is meticulously laying the foundation for a much stronger and more stable currency in the future. By focusing on monetary stability, transparency, and leveraging its oil-backed revenue, the CBI is taking cautious but incredibly meaningful steps. These are the actions that will strengthen the dinar naturally over time. For now, the best approach for anyone watching the dinar is patience, because the real, lasting value of the Iraqi dinar won't be built on speculation and hype, but on the solid ground of economic progress and reform. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of finance. We'll see you in the next video.